The skies above Winterfell darkened unnaturally, carrying the whispers of an ancient threat. Daenerys Targaryen's eyes scanned the horizon, the distant roar of dragons echoing like a memory of fire and power. Jon Snow stood beside her, vigilant, sensing the chill that spoke of darkness returning. Beyond the wall, the Night King watched silently, his icy presence stretching across the frozen lands. In the heart of the north, a baby white walker stirred. Its eyes glowed faintly blue, illuminating the snow like a star fallen to earth. Jon observed cautiously, aware that ancient magic, long thought gone, was awakening again. Maester Luwin and Old Nan warned the northern leaders. "Magic was once a mighty force," Luwin said gravely, "but now it is forgotten. Beware the ice and the long night." Arya Stark, skeptical yet curious, listened intently, sensing the truth in their words. Fear mingled with anticipation, for the North remembered the old stories, and this winter was unlike any before. Daenerys mounted her dragon, wings spreading against the stormy sky. "Prepare yourselves," she commanded, fire reflecting in her eyes. The dragons roared, answering their queen, ready to confront the shadow that rose from beyond the wall. Jon led a scouting party into the frozen forests. Whites moved silently through the trees, shadows of death gliding over ice. The baby White Walker appeared, watching from afar, a silent herald of the Night King's growing power. The first clash was swift and terrifying. Whites advanced, ice and darkness filling the air, but Daenerys' dragons breathed fire, scattering them in brilliant plumes of heat against frost. Jon's sword struck true, defending his companions with unyielding honor. Night King's strategy became clear. He moved like a shadow, commanding his undead army with chilling precision. The North's defenders realized that this battle would test their courage, their wit, and the ancient bonds between men and magic. Beyond Winterfell, the aurora danced unnaturally, hinting at the awakening of forces older than any living memory. The baby White Walker's faint glow pulsed in time with the cold wind, a signal of power gathering, and the Night King's influence spreading further into the north. The Night King stood upon the frozen cliffs, watching Winterfell's distant fires flicker beneath the endless night. Around him, whites moved in silence, their armor creaking softly like the groan of dying trees. He did not speak, he never did, but his will was enough to command legions. At Winterfell, Jon Snow and Daenerys gathered the northern lords in the Great Hall. The air was thick with tension, torches crackling as shadows danced across stone walls. Jon spoke of defense and strategy. Daenerys spoke of fire and vengeance. Between them, a fragile alliance glowed, built not of love, but necessity. Beneath the castle, Maester Luwin found ancient runes awakening in the crypts. The walls pulsed faintly with blue light, whispers echoing through the cold stone. Something ancient was stirring, the same energy that pulsed within the baby White Walker far beyond the wall. High above the storm clouds, dragons roared. Daenerys rode Drogon through the night, his wings splitting thunder and flame. Below, the Night King raised his arm, sending shards of ice into the skies. Fire and frost clashed, lighting the heavens in blinding brilliance. The gods themselves might have paused to watch. In the forests, Jon and Edric led a group of northern rangers through deep snow, their breath steamed in the frigid air, swords drawn and hearts steady. Then, silence broke. The dead attacked. Jon's blade found its mark again and again, but among the chaos stood a small figure, the baby White Walker, watching him with glowing eyes that held no malice, only destiny. As the aurora spread across the night, the Night King began his march toward Winterfell. Ice cracked beneath his feet, and a storm unlike any seen before gathered behind him. The north held its breath. Daenerys climbed the battlements, her cloak whipping in the wind. She looked to Jon. "When the fire dies," she said, "we fight in the dark." Jon nodded, his eyes hard with resolve. "Then we won't let the fire die." At dawn, the battle began. Dragons screamed overhead, breathing torrents of flame that melted the snow into rivers of steam. Whites surged forward like a tide of bones and death. In the chaos, the baby White Walker stood untouched, its small hand raised, frost swirling like a shield around it. Daenerys' dragon struck, fire meeting ice, and for a moment the world itself trembled. As the flames faded, the Night King's silhouette appeared through the mist. Cold and calm, he raised his gaze to Daenerys, and then to Jon. The message was clear. This was not the end. It was the beginning of something far older, far darker than either of them understood. The walls of Winterfell shook. Jon stood ready with his sword of dragon glass, and day